everyone, welcome back. Today we are diving into ES6, one of the most exciting updates in JavaScript. By the end of this video, you will have a solid understanding of the key ES6 features through a hands-on coding session. So let us jump right in. First up, let us talk about let and const. They replace where and offer better scoping. Let and const have block scope, unlike where, which has function scope. Use const for values they don't change, and let for variables that might. So let us open Visual Studio Code. In Visual Studio Code, in the menu File option, open folder, and you can select a folder here. Let us select this folder. Click on select folder and then click anywhere here and create a file, JavaScript file s1.js. Then create a function, let us say f1, and create a variable with let x equal to 100, constant also const y equal to 200, then print on the console using console.log x comma y, and let us try to print outside the function and then call the function. Save the file. This is JavaScript file. Let us say s1.js. Now in the terminal, let us check node. Now run the code using node followed by file name s1.js. So it will give the error that as x is not defined, so you cannot access x and y outside this function because their scope is confined to the function f1 in which they are declared. So let us comment this, save the file again, and run the code again, node s1.js. So you can see that the values are printed 100 and 200. The second feature is the arrow function. Arrow functions provide very concise syntax to the functions. They are anonymous functions. You can create the functions without any name. Arrow functions make code cleaner and automatically bind this. They are great for callbacks and one-liner functions. And suppose you want to create a very small function without its name, and then you can assign this function to a constant or a variable also, and you can pass this function as a parameter to another function, so it can be used as the callback function also. So let us create a arrow function. Click here and create another file, let us say s2.js, and create a function const x. Here we specify the parameters a comma b, then equal and greater than sign, make the arrow, and a plus b. So it is returning the sum of a and b. In order to call this function, console.log x, pass the actual values if you want to add. Save the file. Let us say s2.js, and now run node s2.js. So you can see that it will print the sum. Let us create another arrow function. It will increment its parameter. If you don't want to pass any parameter, then provide the empty parenthesis. Y 10. So it will call the second function, which is returning the increment of the variable passed. Similarly, call the second function, third function, z, without any parameter. Save and then run. So the first function is returning 300, sum of 100 and 200. Second one is returning 11, and third one is returning hello world. The third feature is template literals. So string concatenation is a hassle, and it is not more a hassle using the template literals. You can use the backticks to embed the variables and multi-line strings without plus. So basically, plus symbol we use in JavaScript to concatenate literals and variables. And if there are so many variables, then it will be the plus you need to use many times. So with template literals, you can avoid this. Let us see an example. Create another file. And let us create certain variables. Use the backticks, and then within the backticks use the literals as well as the variables. For using the variables, use dollar, then curly brackets, then name of the variable, and without any plus sign, use the literal is another variable, age, save and then run it. Node s3 dot gates. So John is 30 years old. It will combine both the variables and literals. Destructuring extracts values from objects and arrays effortlessly with let us see an example. Create another file. Let us say it is s4 dot case. Let us create a constant obj. It is an object with properties name and age. So this is how the destructuring works. Name, comma, age, then you can print both the name and age separately. Let us save it as s4.js. So it will print both the values. The next feature is default parameters. We can provide default parameters. Let us create an arrow function in another file. Let us say this is s5.js. Then create the function sum, assign in the constant sum and x equal to 100, y equal to 200. These are the default parameters. Now let us call this function. Five comma 10, then again call it. let us save s5 dot gas and now run node s5 dot gas. So you can see in the first function call the parameters we have provided 5 and 10, so it will produce the sum of 5 and 10, that is 15. In the second one we specify 5, so it will use the 5 for x and then 200 for y, that is the default value, so it will return the 205. In the third function call we don't provide any parameter value, so it will use both the default values 100 and 200, so it will return 300. Spread and rest operators.